Hi, my name is Jason3KB, and where the hell have I been? Well, got in trouble with the law yet again. Apparently, it's illegal to have more than 5 hookers in your bed at once. I didn't know that, so I do know now. I shouldn't have more than 5, and when you have 8, it's a little illegal apparently. So, unfortunately, I can't deal with 8 hookers at once. Let's just get into the review. Thank you so much to ANC Games for supplying the review copy. And do I publicly want to say this? Well, the thing about WB Canada is I have worked with every single company out there, and I emailed them about this. I've worked with them in the past, and they sent me the rudest, just like, I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it. I don't want to go public with everything here. I just want to say that WB Canada is just the worst company I've ever had to deal with to get a review copy. And maybe one's going to show up in the mail this week, and I'll send it back to them. I don't need it anymore. So thank you. Wait, sorry, not thank you. No thanks whatsoever to WB Canada for being rude sons of bitches who think they can just get away with it without me publicly shaming them a little bit. So thanks, WB Canada, for being complete assholes. Let's get into the game from WB Canada that I'm covering anyways, because guess what? I'm a fan, and maybe you shouldn't treat them like shit. Here, though, here's something important. You guys ask questions about Mortal Kombat X. I'm going to answer them within this review. So let's just get right into it. Let's not waste any more time talking about how shitty WB Canada is. Let's talk about somebody named Mario Estrada. He sounds like a famous wrestler who now does a lot of coke and hookers. And he asks, how is the story compared to 9? Then we have Jordan Gross, who I will be seeing at Too Many Games Expo. Oh, I just said that out loud. In a couple of months, Jordan, I'm going to hug you really tight. He asks, does the game cater to newcomers or people that aren't great with fighters? Well, I'll answer these two quickly. Okay, so is it comparable to Mortal Kombat 9? Absolutely. Everything is there. The story is there. The characters are there. The goofiness is there. All of the fatalities and brutalities. Brutalities are back once, and you know, I'm very happy about that in Mortal Kombat X. What else is back? Well, the Crypt is back, and it got a complete overhaul in a sense. It plays like an RPG in its own right. It's like this just amazing, cool little side game that you get to unlock combos and all sorts of fatalities and artwork and music. That's interesting as well. So, is it comparable to 9? Absolutely. Is it better than 9? I'm going to answer that in the review. And then Jordan asks, is it good for newcomers? Well, I'll be honest on this one. It definitely is not the type of game that you want to just get right into if you're coming into fighters. I think the best thing to do would be go back in time, start with the classics, start with some, you know, with some Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 on the Genesis or Super Nintendo. If you don't like blood and censorship, go on that route. That's what you should do there. Now, let's get into the story, because the story is something that I thought would be very difficult to achieve in Mortal Kombat X. When I first heard that the children of the past characters from Mortal Kombat 9 would be the stars of this game, and it would take place like 22 years later. Well, I'll just read from my notes. The game takes place 22 years later after Mortal Kombat 9. You play as Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade's daughter, who is known as Cassie Cage, with a team of fighters, sort of like if you took Black Ops people, like really, you know, if you took Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade and mixed them with some of the more spooky sorcery people and put them together and made them children now, that's what you would get. Cassie Cage is a kick-ass star of the game, nonetheless. She really is the star of this game, but she's a kick-ass warrior. Absolutely love her characters. Absolutely love. Let me just say that again. Like, this story is a 9 out of 10. It is amazing. It's everything in a Mortal Kombat game that you would want. You've got the over-the-top brutality, which is a very important part of Mortal Kombat. It always has been. They did waver on that as the series continued, but they brought that back. Finally, thank you so much to them. I really, NetherRealm, the brutality in this game. Let me just say the blood, everything. The gore is all back. Very, very well done. The humor makes fun of itself. It's self-aware, and it's very important in a type of game like this when you have people's heads flying off of their bodies constantly. It's very important to have a very strong writing team, and boom, they nailed the writing in this. Thor Burham, I don't even know if I'm saying these names right. Derek Rogers. They both ask, how do you feel about the new characters? Do they seem to fit the game? That was something I was a little worried about. And somebody asked, bunch of people were asking who's my favorite. So, you've got all of the past characters, and half of them, I don't want to give too much away, but half of them are unplayable for the most part. But the cool thing is you do see characters from the last Mortal Kombat. Even though they died, they're here. I'm not going to give away why they're alive, but the point is you get to see them and relive that sort of interaction between Liu Kang and Raiden, and that real sense of history is still in the game. It's very important that they brought that back into the newest Mortal Kombat. I feel that some of the new characters are a tad little weak. I know there's a controversy about one of the characters being gay, or maybe he's gay. The point, why am I bringing that up, is because I feel that who gives a shit if this character is gay? I don't care anymore if the character is straight, gay, you know, sleeps with animals, monkeys, whatever they want to do. I'm playing video games for entertainment purposes. So the whole hoopla, is the character gay? Well, I don't see him, like, he's not going around kissing men in the game and like ripping their dicks off and sucking on it and saying vitality. They're not, it's not like, oh, he's gay, so let's make him super gay in the game, or he's straight, or Reptile was really a lizard. Oh my god, Jax, he's black. Like, why are these controversies? Just ignore that shit. Just play video games for the entertainment purposes. If I wanted controversy, then I'd just whip my dick out right now and everyone would know that it was huge. But I don't want that on the show. Unless you pay me a lot of money. Roberto Flores, I think he was asking me, how is it online? Well, here's where the game takes a little bit of a hit. So I played online with my good friend J Matrix. You might know him, you might not know him. If you don't know who J Matrix is, you definitely should get custom t-shirts printed with his face on it, because he will make the ladies wet if they look at that shirt, and you do spend the money on customizing it. That joke really went nowhere. So he's asking about online. Well, online is the worst part of this game. Unfortunately, it's the ping system. It's saying like how much ping you have and how well you're connected to the network, and miraculously, I'm getting a 10 out of 10 and Jay's getting a 2 out of 10, and it's wondering why is his connection shitty and mine's amazing? Guess what? On his end, it's showing vice versa. It's saying I have a shit connection, he has an amazing one. Oh, you know what? I know what happened here. They didn't make the online work properly, and they decided, just shove it out there and we'll deal with it later, just like every other game. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later with DLC and whatnot, but my point here is finish the game before you send it out, because online matches run slower than molasses. Like, if I poured molasses on the top of my dick, it would take about 40 hours for it to hit my feet. That's how long a match on Mortal Kombat takes, if it is lagging. It's unbelievable how much lag is in this, and I don't care how fun it can be when it works. When I go out there and play, you know, pay in Canada $79 for a game that, for the most part, you're going to be spending a lot of time, if you're a fighter, online matches, and it doesn't even work. And the fact that the PS4 version came with a giant bug that didn't even let you sign into the network. You had to literally turn your system off and sign out of PSN to get back into it. Game mode. So obviously you have your you know, story mode, which is one of the main features of Mortal Kombat nowadays. Back in the day when I was a youngin', I had to watch just literally pictures on the screen and read it like Raiden. Raiden was an elder god, and he used to shoot electricity out of his dick, and you want to fuck him. The point here is now, this team, man, has just went to the drawing board in Mortal Kombat, you know, 9, and they went, how can we make this better? Let's make it over the top and crazier. That's exactly what the story mode is here. And I have to say, the story mode is one of the strong points of the game. It's one of the main reasons why I play the Mortal Kombat games. Even though I'm a huge fighter, I love the story in Mortal Kombat. Here's something I should probably bring up. The background interaction is back from you know, the last game they did, Injustice, Gods Among Us. They took they basically took Mortal Kombat 9, tossed in DC characters, and that was the fighting game. And it was a really good fighting game. It wasn't up to the standards of Mortal Kombat, but it was pretty good. Now, you do have a bunch of things returning from Mortal Kombat 9, which I'll just list off very, very quickly. For instance, you have the background interaction, which allows you to grab things and jump off of things in the background, which can be very, very crucial, especially in a fighting game when you want to, you know, escape different situations. Then, another thing that they've got back is the sprint gauge, and I believe that last time it was in Mortal Kombat was in Mortal Kombat 4. I could be wrong. You can run in this game now, which is very interesting. It adds a whole new dynamic back into Mortal Kombat. I really, really suggest that you look into how how you really hook all of these things together. So special moves and combos and running and the interaction of the background, you can get some major combo hits in this game now. Of course, you've got the X-rays back. That is filled up from your gauge meter, so it'll build up over time. You can obviously do combo breaks, but the main thing here is it's just seeing people's bones shatter. So the X-ray ability usually takes about 33% off of a health bar. It is a very crucial part of Mortal Kombat. Some people would call it cheap. I personally love the X-ray moves in this. The coolest thing that I have to say in Mortal Kombat X is the fact that Mortal Kombat X has 3 variations per character. What does that mean? Well, I wrote down this in good detail. When I was using Scorpion, he has got a ninjutsu. Can I even speak? Ninjutsu. I'm saying that right. Hellfire and Inferno variations. So ninjutsu is basically a lot of blocking, a lot of his combos, a lot of sword play. Then you've got his Hellfire, which involves, it's kind of his classic where he shoots fire. He's got his hook that pulls you in. Then Inferno is awesome. He's constantly on fire. You've got your Hellspawn minions that you can actually spawn and bring into the match. So when I'm talking about variations, I'm talking about learning 3 different skill sets for each character, and there are so many. I'm not going to give away too much in terms of characters. I think really what you should know is there's a lot of characters, a lot of variations in this game, and that is one of the main strong points in the game. So when I go into the game modes, I'm going to do this as quick as possible because I think this is running a little long as usual. You've got your one-on-one ranked, you've got your practice, King of the Hill, Survivor, Test Your Luck. All of these are from past Mortal Kombat games. Test Your Luck is where it throws you into situations where they're like, kill this guy by doing 5 uppercuts, or shoot these missiles out your ass and suck on them. You got to do those, and you get trophies, you get unlocks from that sort of thing. Brand new to the game are living towers. These towers are constantly switching. So if you're big into Mortal Kombat, you'll know what well, first of all, you'll know what a tower is. A tower is essentially just a group of fighters, and you fight your way up to the top. Living Tower changes every week with different, different things going on in the Living Tower. Now there's something in mods. I don't know if you guys know about mods, but in the last Mortal Kombat, I don't recall if they had these. In this Mortal Kombat, certain mods would be crazy things like the screen will randomly fucking tilt. Or it'll literally go pitch black and then fade back in, or you've got like, raining acid puddles and all of these things. That game mode to me is after you've become like a master at this game. Then you go into the modded matches. Then you really enjoy the game. Lastly, I gotta say, the Faction Wars, which is an online mode, when you first turn in Mortal Kombat on your PS4, it'll ask you to join one of 5 factions. Now, these different factions don't really mean too much. You can be like the Fire faction or the Ice faction. The point here is, though, it doesn't really matter. It's just really all you're doing is you're joining a faction, and as you're playing the game, you get points that go towards your faction. If your faction wins, you get some extra Crypt coins, which I'm going to talk about right now, or you'll unlock special finishing moves that only happen in the faction matches, and once you've unlocked them in there, you can use them all over the game. Now, here's something. The Crypt. The Crypt is back from Mortal Kombat 9 and Deception. Old idea, but they brought it forward by adding, really cool things that I really do appreciate. For instance, now you can move the camera freely in the Crypt. The Crypt is used to unlock, your special abilities, your fatalities, brutalities, artwork. All of that stuff is unlocked in the Crypt. So when you play the main game, you do unlock coins as you're doing your combos, and it totals them up. You go to the Crypt, you go into all of these new sections, which I think is really cool. It turns it into a sort of an RPG game in its own right, and once in a while, like real-time events will happen or real-time triggers where a spider will jump on you and you have to hit the X button before it bites you. You'll get coins that way. Point of this is the Crypt is now back, and I'm has been in this series for quite some time, but I would say it's the most fun I've ever had in a Crypt in a Mortal Kombat game. So Shane Griffin, he's the one that asked about the Crypt. 8-Bit Eric from the 8-Bit Eric Show asks, Day 1 DLC, was it worth it? No, I wouldn't say that any DLC is worth it at this point, and you could probably just wait to get this game for half the price with all of the every DLC in probably about 6 or 7 months. So here's the thing. Do you want to spend the money up front and get a Season's Pass, which is $24? It's going to give you Jason Voorhees, who obviously is from Friday the 13th. You've got Predator, Tremor, who's from a bunch of other Mortal Kombats, I believe. You've got Tanya from Mortal Kombat 4. Then you also have Goro as a pre-order bonus, which, guess what? Comes in every version. So yeah, you don't pay for him because he comes in every version that you buy at the store. The point here is, do I want to spend $24 for all that shit? Extra characters? Here's the thing, it's a fighting game. I want everybody that's available in the roster on day one. I do understand the point of DLC to, you know, send the game, the longevity of the game into the future. Well, I'm going to play Mortal Kombat in 6 months. Well, I'm going to have some new characters and learn them. It's just a business model that doesn't work for video games. I don't understand it. If you already finished the game and it's just sitting on the disc or it's sitting online, you just have to unlock it by paying more money. It's just cheap to me. It's just unfortunate that we have to keep continuously dealing with DLC. So that's how I feel about DLC. The game is self-aware, that's for sure. That's the most important part. But the most important part that I wanted to talk about would be Mortal Kombat is not just about the fighting. Mortal Kombat is also about the gore and pushing the boundaries of video games in terms of how much, you know, censorship should be applied to video games. And this right here, my friends, brings us right back to the original Mortal Kombat when we had to deal with Nintendo turning the blood from red on the Super Nintendo to green, and people like smashing like crazy Christian mothers like throwing pitchforks through, you know, arcade machines because it was corrupting the children. I played Mortal Kombat my whole life, but I don't go and kill people. I don't punch them in the face and watch blood spurt everywhere. I wish I did, but I don't do that. I have self-control. Guess who does that? People who are already fucking crazy. Overall, I give Mortal Kombat 10, an 8.5 out of 10. It's just the best Mortal Kombat I've played since Mortal Kombat 2. There's no more arguing about it. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for watching the review. Again, thank you to everybody. I'm puking in my mouth. Who's watched the show for the last like 6-7 months. You guys are incredible. I love all of you guys. I'm sorry that I've been away, but life sometimes comes in and kicks your ass. So what are you going to do? I'm going to try to do everything that I can possibly do on the show. I will be moving at the end of the month, so there'll be a new set yet again. And hopefully I find somewhere to live. So thank you so much to Chop Shop Goods for supplying the amazing apparel on my show. Thank you to ANC Games for giving me that game to review on the show. No thanks whatsoever to WB Canada, the person I'm talking to. You know who you are. Thank you so much for being a complete jerk for no reason. I hope that it works out for you at WB Canada, but I think it's time you get your head out of your ass and start dealing with the fans the proper way, because I'm not going to sit around and take your shit anymore. Thank you so much. Amazing game. Ed Boon over at NetherRealm. You kick ass, man. But I think you should definitely make sure your team below you or your publisher is on the same page as you, because you know how to deal with fans, but the publisher who puts the goddamn game out doesn't. So, alright, what are you going to do? Not everything is perfect, so I'm signing out now, and I'll be back one day, you guys. I'll be back.